Okay, so moving on to rec, we're only going to go in depth for things that will need it. So right now we're on bars. So for beginner, on the low bar, they're going to straddle on, hands on the mat, not the bar, and straddle roll down the wedge. So if you go watch the preschool video, they're doing the same thing practically, except at a smaller scale. So the mat will be in front of the bar, their hands will go on the mat. They will then jump their feet into a straddle on the bar. That way it's easier than a squat on. And then they will straddle roll down the wedge. So forward roll, but in a straddle position. Intermediate will squat on, hands on the mat, not the bar still, and then straddle roll down the wedge. So instead of jumping their feet onto a straddle, they're going to jump their feet together and then straddle roll down the mat. And then for advanced, they're going to kick to a handstand, then fall to their knee on the wedge. So they'll start on the wedge, going uphill towards the bar, put their hands down on the bar, kick up to a handstand, and then fall to their knees. This is getting them comfortable dropping from a higher cast to then do a back hip circle, a double back hip circle, a clear hip, etc. So then the medium bar next to it, it will have the back hip circle trainer on it, which is the red and white pole bar thing that goes underneath, and they sit on it and it spins them around. So that will be on the bar. Beginners are just going to do back hip circles. Intermediates will do double back hip circles, and advanced will do front hip circles. That's going to be your station to kind of spot at and make sure they actually go for it. As long as they go fast, it should do the rest of the work for them, but some kids are scared of going fast. And you may have to help them into it, but they should be able to get themselves out of it. On the second medium bar, they're going to do bungee casts. In beginner, legs will hit the bungee in front before they cast. So that way they kick the bungee and then cast. That way they're loading their cast in front to have something to kick backwards. In intermediate, they'll be on the bar and their feet will go in between the bungee, so that way there's resistance when they cast backwards. So the bungee will be on their calves or their ankles. And then in advanced, they're not going to use the bungee. They're going to use ankle weights. They're going to put the ankle weights on, and they're going to do casts in a row. That way they work a little bit more of their form in their lower body, and bungees might be too easy for them to do that. So then on the high bar, for beginner, they're going to swing in a tuck 3 times, land back in their starting spot in SLP. So they'll jump, swing forward 1, 2, 3, and then let go back here and drop off where they started in SLP. Same thing for intermediate, except they're going to do a swing and a straddle twice, not 3 times. So jump, straddle, and drop back to where they were in SLP. And then for advanced, they're going to do a mini routine. So glide, pull over, back hip circle, and then cast, push away off the bar to SLP. Then for the stations that are on the floor, the first one, there will be either 2 panel mats or 2 boxes. I haven't decided yet, but you'll see in the picture. They're going to start in a push-up with their hands on the bar and their feet in the middle of the 2 mats, kind of like a tunnel, and they'll hop their feet up and onto the mats like for a cast. Then for intermediate, they're going to do the same thing, except they're going to invert that straddle position. So instead of jumping just straight out into another push-up with their feet a little bit higher, they're going to then jump up into a pike straddle with 1 foot on each. So they should look practically literally like this. Butt up in the air, 1 foot on each panel mat, hands on the bar. So it's getting them ready for cast handstands. And then for advanced, they just add on to that. So jump to an inverted straddle, booty in the air, feet on each panel mat, straddle up to handstand. Next, they're going to do a pullover drill with the bucket. We've done this before, except without the bucket. So chin goes to the bar on the floor, feet go over, they're going to drop an object in the bucket. And that's going to be the same thing for beginner and an intermediate. For advanced, they're going to do front hip circle leans. All they do is start on their knees with the bar pushed up at their thighs. They're going to lean over as far as they can until it feels like they can't go any further, and their feet are going to, and their knees are going to come out, and they're going to fall forward. They're going to want to hit that position. Don't hold it for very long, but make sure they hit it, and then they come back. Then everybody, oh no, sorry, not everybody. They're going to do tuck-ins with the slider. Also, so they're going to do tuck-ins with the slider for beginner and intermediate, sorry. Hands on the floor, feet on the slider, tuck your legs in, push your legs out. Then in advanced, they're going to do pike up, so same thing, except your butt goes in there and your legs stay straight and you go back out. For the conditioning station, beginner's going to do tuck rocks, holding the bar above head. So get in a tuck position and rock back and forth, holding that above your head. Intermediate will do hollow rocks with it by their legs. So getting a hollow rock back and forth, holding the bar at your legs, because that's the position for a back hip circle. And then advanced will do a laying down kip with the bar. That one, the level 3s and 4s and excels do. So that's the exact same station that they do on the floor. So